Namaste. Time on your mat, it doesn't need to replicate a yoga practice that you've taken with a teacher in a studio. It can really just be about mindfully moving. So sometimes my morning practice is really just about exploring how my body is feeling that day. So I just thought I'd run you through what sometimes it might look like, and you might like to join me. So often I start on the hands and knees, and I have the hands a little wider than the shoulders. A lot of this practice is with my eyes closed, and I'll drop the right shoulder down as I bend the elbow and turn my head to look in the direction of the left, and then I'll come back up through center and leisurely bend the left elbow and look in the opposite direction. And I'll combine this movement with the breath. So as I exhale, dipping the entire length of that breath out before inhaling back to center. And exhaling to the other side. It's taking a few more rounds like this, and noticing that as you relax across the forehead, you find that space between the back teeth. There's an overall sense of ease that moves down through the neck and shoulders. And you can enjoy the whole body releasing any built-up tension. Noticing how nice it is to quieten the mind by focusing on the breath. And then coming into your child's pose and keeping the elbows lifted, very slowly letting the hips skim over the heels. So the head may also be hovering above the earth. And there's not a lot of effort here, more just enough to hold you in place and feel the back of the body coming alive. And as you stay connected to the rhythm and the pace of your breath, you can allow that to guide the rhythm and the pace of the movements of your body. And then coming forward back onto those hands and knees, and really stretch out the fingers and feel the fingers, the hands come alive as you lift the hips up into your downward dog with a generous bend of the knees and letting the head hang heavily like a piece of ripe fruit ready to drop to the earth as you lift the heels one at a time, very slowly with the breath. Slowly, because it enables you to enjoy all of those more subtle movements and to distribute the weight evenly throughout the body as you move with the breath. Feel the whole body being massaged as it starts to come alive.
It may feel as if the arms and shoulders are starting to tire, but perhaps you could instead think of it like that they're waking up as you feel a little more warmth and energy there. And then let yourself come down to the knees once more and bring the forehead to the floor and soften the arms, bringing the forearms down or even sliding the arms around behind you and coming to rest on the back of the hands, palms upwards. Feel the shoulders melting down towards the earth. And already the mind quietening, focusing in that space behind the eyelids. And circle those arms back out around in front of you and come back onto the hands and knees before lifting back up into downward facing dog. Stretching the spine out and then lift up the right leg, so transferring the weight into the other 3 points of contact. And let that left knee be bent as you just gently pulse and feel yourself rising up and down with the hips and that extended leg reaching a little higher to the sky. And then you can bring that right foot forward in between the hands and come down to the left knee and feel the hips heavy here as you round through the shoulders and let the head drop down towards the earth. Slow and steady with the breath, and noticing that the breath can now be absorbed into the part of the body that's craving more space. Let the body absorb the breath. And then rocking the hips back, stretch out through the front leg. You might even lift the toes and just moving forward and back with the breath. As you inhale, you might even lift up a little here through the chest and just start stretching out through the neck, through the throat, and that same mindfulness of the body, not looking to overextend, but more encourage this awakening. Feel the breath rippling through every limb, every length of your body, through the spine, front and back. And then bringing yourself back into that downward facing dog, and just go on and find stillness here as you bend the knees and reach the heels down to the earth. And wrap the armpits around to face each other, so feel that opening across the back of the body now. Take the left leg into the air and keep a little bend at least through that right knee and just pulse a little. So let yourself lift the right heel up and down to encourage the hips to open up and down. But Rather than opening that left hip, just stay long, almost like you're dropping that left hip so the hips are closed. And then bringing that left leg forward and coming down to the right knee. Take a moment to switch off, and if you wanted to get off your hands, you could even come onto the back of the hands, turn the palms up, feel the chest, left shoulder resting on that left thigh, knee. There's not a lot else physically that needs to be done here. If you're feeling really tired or it's first thing in the morning, instead using your attention to focus your breath where it's needed and finding a softness under the skin. And taking the hips back, just moving between these two actions of opening a little through the chest. Taking a breath here. Exhaling, lunging forward, and enjoying your whole body and mind opening into this moment, whether it's the first part of the day or maybe it's just the first opportunity you've had to connect with your body today. Notice how you're able to move and create this wonderful feeling in the body, but by being so gentle, using so much care as you move, your intention to feel really good. And then go on and step it back into downward facing dog. Lifting the sit bones high and opening up through the back body as you draw the front ribs up towards the spine. These little subtle movements that start to light up the body. And then come down and find Sphinx pose where you can rest on the forearms here and switch off the effort through the legs as well. Feel the thighs softening down into the earth. And an openness across the lower back. Amongst all the other sounds that you might hear around you, pay more and more attention to the sound of your breath. Pulsation as the abdomen moves against the earth. Each breath bringing you back into your body, into this moment, this dedicated time to connect with yourself. You can lower all the way down when you're ready. And find yourself back into child's pose and just get really comfy here in child's pose as you drop the head down and within this little cocoon, notice the warmth of the breath. A soft sound like a breeze through the trees. Of course, you may stay longer there, but often in my morning practice, I find a comfortable seat on my meditation cushion and let the hands rest down on the legs. Through mindful movement, bringing my awareness deep within my personal, internal landscape. And it's here that you can simply observe without judgment. You may notice the sound in the distance. It's in that very moment that you choose to either continue focusing on that sound and those thoughts that may be attached, or if you choose to simply let that be in the background of this experience. And focus more and more on the silence within your mind. All of that clear blue sky that's always there, in and around and above the clouds. The clouds, like a thought or a memory or an idea, passes by, but behind it, around it, in between, continues to lie this open awareness. Find your way back to this spacious silence within your mind. And eventually you see that your practice, however it unfolds for you, is perfect just the way it is.